Desire alone is the spark, but it must be married with belief to become unstoppable. You see, a burning desire without belief is like a flame trapped in a vacuum. It suffocates, it dies. But when belief surrounds desire, when you dare to see your vision not as a fantasy, but as an inevitable reality, then the impossible bends its knee before you. Napoleon Hill himself declared that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Conceive and believe. These are not idle words. They are laws as unshakable as gravity. And yet most people conceive but never believe. They dream but never expect. They imagine but never trust themselves enough to act. Their desire becomes a ghost, haunting them but never birthing life. Belief is not about hoping it will happen. Belief is the unshakable conviction that it must happen. Edison did not tinker with wires and filaments because he hoped one day they might glow. He believed they would. Ford did not toil in dusty workshops because he wished for a horseless carriage. He believed in it before the world even understood what he meant. And because belief fused with desire, reality had no choice but to comply. Belief rewires the brain. It reshapes the nervous system. When you believe, truly believe, your mind begins to filter reality differently. The world that once looked full of barriers suddenly reveals hidden pathways. The problems that once seemed impossible suddenly expose their weak points. Belief is not mystical. It is practical. It commands your focus, sharpens your energy, and blinds you to distractions that devour the masses. But here's the challenge. Belief is expensive. It demands that you trade doubt for discipline, fear for faith, and excuses for execution. And this is where most people falter. They feed their desire with excuses instead of action, and so the fire burns out. But you cannot afford to let that happen. If you are to master the power of a burning desire, you must guard your belief like a treasure, for once it weakens, the fire dims. Think of Abraham Lincoln during the darkest hours of the Civil War. Entire states crumbling, advisors doubting, his own body weighed down by exhaustion and depression. But Lincoln held on to one unshakable belief, that the Union must endure, that freedom must prevail. That belief, fused with his burning desire, pulled an entire nation through fire and blood into a rebirth of liberty. Belief is the unseen armor that protects your desire from the arrows of doubt. Without it, the world will break you. With it, you can walk through storms untouched. And here's the truth. You will be tested. Your desire will be mocked. Your belief will be challenged. But that is the price of greatness. Every rejection, every closed door, every failure is not a signal to quit, but a demand to deepen your belief. Do you see it now? This is not philosophy. It is law. If you desire without belief, you will drift. If you believe without desire, you will stagnate. But if you unite the two, the world itself must bend. This is why Hill taught the principle of a definite purpose. To crystallize your desire into a vision so clear that it dominates your every thought, and to fortify it with belief so strong that nothing, no ridicule, no delay, no defeat can strip it away. So I ask you, what vision burns inside you? Can you see it, not vaguely, not as a shadow, but with the vivid clarity of a photograph etched into your mind? Can you believe in it so fiercely that even if the entire world declared it impossible, you would press forward? That is the secret of the giants who came before us. They saw what others could not. They believed what others refused to. And because of that, they created what others now envy. The mind is a magnet, and belief is the current that activates it. When you unite desire and belief, you send a signal so strong that the right people, the right resources, the right opportunities begin to move toward you. It is not luck, it is law. Just as a magnet cannot help but attract iron, the mind fused with desire and belief cannot help but attract the materials of its vision. Do not waste your days living as a drifter, tossed by the winds of circumstance. Anchor yourself with belief. Ignite yourself with desire. See your destiny so vividly that you cannot unsee it, and believe in it so relentlessly that failure itself becomes a mere illusion. Because here is eternal truth. You will never rise above the level of your belief. Your income, your influence, your impact, they are all shadows cast by the size of your belief. If you think small, you live small. If you think weak, you live weak. But if you believe with the intensity of fire, You live with the force of a hurricane. There comes a moment in every life when the ordinary can no longer satisfy the hunger of the soul. A moment when comfort tastes like poison and safety feels like a prison. That moment, my friend, is when desire is born, not the casual wish, not the half-hearted hope, but the kind of desire that seizes you, shakes you, and refuses to let you go until your vision becomes reality. The greatest men and women who ever walked this earth were not driven by convenience. They were possessed by a burning desire. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed over 10,000 times before the light bulb revealed its glow to humanity. Do you think he kept going because of curiosity alone? No, he was consumed by a vision so clear, so alive inside him, that failure itself became fuel. Desire turned defeat into a stepping stone, and that same fire lit the darkness of the entire world. Desire is not a gentle flame. It is a raging inferno. It does not whisper. It roars. It keeps you awake at night, painting the images of your future across the canvas of your mind until you can see nothing else. It pulls you out of bed before the sun rises, demanding action while the rest of the world sleeps. Without desire, talent is wasted. Without desire, intelligence rusts. Without desire, potential remains buried, never awakened. But with desire, even the smallest seed can break through stone, and even the weakest man can rise to greatness. History is not written by the dreamers who wished. It is written by the warriors who desired. Henry Ford was ridiculed when he said he would build a car for the masses. They laughed at his so-called ignorance, mocked his obsession. But Ford's burning desire drowned out the noise of doubters. He pressed forward, and because of that relentless fire, mobility and freedom were redefined for the entire human race. Desire is the master key to the locked vault of your destiny. Without it, every other principle, discipline, persistence, vision, remains dormant. Desire is the spark that awakens them all. It is the heartbeat of achievement, the pulse of progress, the breath of greatness itself. And yet, most people never ignite it. They live lives of quiet desperation, smothered by doubt, shackled by fear, and lulled to sleep by comfort. But you, yes, you, were not created to sleep through life. You were born to set the world ablaze with your purpose. You were born to be consumed by a vision that stretches beyond the horizon, to chase it with everything you have, and to refuse surrender until you stand in the very place your soul has seen all along. The question is not whether you can. The question is whether you will allow desire to possess you, whether you will feed that fire until it becomes unstoppable. The truth is, desire is the birthplace of destiny. Every invention, every empire, every triumph began as a seed of burning hunger in the mind of someone who refused to let it die. Carnegie built steel empires not because he was the smartest man alive, but because his desire to serve humanity through industry outweighed every obstacle. Lincoln carried the Union through its darkest night, not because he was free from despair, but because his desire for freedom and unity was stronger than his pain. Walt Disney painted castles in his imagination long before they touched the sky, because his desire to bring magic to the world burned hotter than poverty, criticism, or failure. And so I ask you, what is your burning desire? What vision sears itself into your soul, no matter how much you try to ignore it? That is your calling. That is your path. And until you surrender to it, life will remain incomplete. Desire is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. Feed it, sharpen it, protect it, for it is the only thing that can turn the impossible into the inevitable. Do not confuse a wish with desire. Wishes vanish at the first sight of resistance. Desire endures. Wishes are fragile, breakable things. Desire is unbreakable steel. A wish dies in the storm. Desire becomes a storm. And when you finally allow it to possess you, when you decide that nothing, no rejection, no failure, no setback can stop you, then the universe itself begins to move. Forces unseen align in your favor. Doors swing open that once seemed bolted shut, and opportunities reveal themselves like stars piercing the midnight sky.